Welcome to the KZGN News. Today we'll bring you news about sanctuary cities, Kern County Fire Department, and much more.
From the Rademacher Hills to Bee Mountain and the mighty Sierras, Ridgecrest to Inyokern and China Lake, this is your news for the Indian Wells Valley with the KZGN News crew.
Thanks for joining us for the news. I'm Tom Whitnick. Here's news affecting Ridgecrest and the Indian Wells Valley. Our lead story has to do with the shooting in San Francisco. I'm sure everyone has heard about this, but the story keeps getting worse and worse. This morning we learned that the gun used by the illegal alien was stolen from a federal agent. Yet details of that are still not available. Here's what we know now. 5-time deportee, 7-time convicted felon Juan Francisco Lopez Sanchez said in a news interview Sunday with a local ABC News affiliate that he came to San Francisco because he knew the sanctuary city would not hand him over to immigration officials. He also claimed that he was looking for jobs in the city. Lopez Sanchez confessed to shooting Catherine Steinel last Wednesday at Pier 14. Had San Francisco authorities not refused a U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement detainer request, Lopez Sanchez may not have been in the United States and Steinel might still be alive. Did you shoot Kate Steinel, the lady who was down at Pier 14? An ABC 7 News reporter asked Lopez Sanchez in an interview. He admitted he did. An ICE official told Breitbart News that ICE enforcement and removal had begun processing the suspect for reinstatement of a removal order from the U.S. in March. But instead, Lopez Sanchez was transferred on March 26th from the Bureau of Prisons in another city to the San Francisco Sheriff's Department because of a drug warrant. ICE then filed the detainer request to be notified prior to Lopez Sanchez's release from custody. The San Francisco court dismissed Lopez Sanchez's drug charges on March 27th. San Francisco and the Sheriff's Department policy is to deny ICE detainer requests, barring special circumstances such as a warrant for a suspected violent offender. The ICE detainer request was denied, and on April 15, 2015, Lopez Sanchez was released. 2.5 months later, Kate Steinel was killed. The 2013 Trust Act, signed by Governor Jerry Brown, gave California cities like San Francisco more leeway in deciding whether to comply with immigration authorities. In the ABC 7 interview, Sanchez claimed that he had found sleeping pills in a dumpster and taken them before heading down to the pier. He strangely claims he found the gun on a bench wrapped in a t-shirt. In a new version of the story, he says the gun went off 3 times and that he kicked it into the bay. He then lit up a cigarette, walked away, and claims he didn't know he shot anyone until police picked him up. Sanchez had initially told police he had shot the gun at sea lions. Sanchez says he knew San Francisco was a sanctuary city where he would not be pursued by immigration officials. The same night Steinel was shot and killed, a 4-time deported illegal alien in Laredo, Texas, murdered his wife with a hammer, according to his own admission. Texas previously reported that Laredo Police Department admitted 3 prior violent encounters with the man. Federal agents told Breitbart, Texas, that Laredo police failed to inform Border Patrol of the encounters with the illegally present foreign national. I suspect this is not going to go away anytime soon. We will be hearing of many more illegal alien criminals being allowed to run loose in the U.S. There is now talk that maybe Sacramento politicians will do something to stop this sanctuary city policy mess. And the federal government should take some responsibility for this as well. There is talk that the federal government should withhold federal funds from cities that blatantly ignore enforcement of laws and don't cooperate with federal ICE officials. So we'll see where this goes. In Kern County Fire News, we have received a report from the Kern County Fire Department on their enforcement of fireworks laws over the 4th of July weekend. These are numbers for the whole county. The total task force for enforcement was at 58 people. They took 1,112 phone calls. They wrote 93 citations, and note most of all the citations were at the $1,500 fine rate. They wrote 14 citations for violations for social host offenses, that is, unsafe use of legal fireworks. They made 7 arrests. 2,500 pounds of fireworks were seized. There were no injuries reported to firefighters. There were 11 fires caused by illegal fireworks. The cost to put out the fires was only a little over $1,300. Total water used on fires was 9,440 gallons. The stats on fireworks booths were, there were 165 booths set up. Each booth paid a $200 permit fee. This provided an income of $33,000. So overall, things went pretty good over the weekend. At least there were no major fires and no injuries. Now here's a story submitted by KZGN-TV field reporter Tanya Pyle. She interviewed Jake Slayton, Chief Operating Officer, Goodwill Industries of Southern California in Bakersfield, on the decision to close the Goodwill store in Ridgecrest. He said the decision had been a long time coming. We've been in the community for 15 years and the lease was due soon. So the decision was made a couple months ago to close the store. We looked several different ways before making the decision. Factors in the decision included the store losing money 5 consecutive years, and then in the last 6 of 7 years providing losses as well. Anytime you close a store, it takes a long time to get to the decision, Slayton said. We talked to people we knew in the community. Closing the Ridgecrest Goodwill was purely a business decision, Slayton said. We always evaluate where we can put a store and where we won't. Their evaluation process is based on population growth along with cost of trucking and transportation. We can't foresee the future. We do have good community ties here. If anything changes market-wise where we think we can sustain a store in the future, we'd be open to coming back, Slayton said. The Goodwill program works with the Department of Rehab, sending referrals for job placement. Goodwill Industries is a not-for-profit service department state federal program. They refer people with barriers to employment and assist them with resume preparation, interview skills, and assist in finding employers who accommodate those with employment barriers. All goods donated to the store were then donated to DART. People who worked the local Goodwill were offered a severance package, and job placement services were offered for those who wanted to participate. Although Goodwill provides goods below competitors at a good shopping value to the customer, Slater said, our very mission is to provide employment opportunities to people with employment barriers. Goodwill Industries was founded on the idea of helping people get employment in 1902 by Edgar J. Helms on the philosophy, a hand up, not a handout. Now stay with us. After the break, we'll be interviewing Jerry Williams on a very proud, wonderful shooting event coming up next Saturday. I have a special guest with me in the studio today, and that's Jerry Williams. He's got a special event coming up called the High Desert Juniors Shooting Sports Banquet. And I invited him in here to give us some information about that. Well, Jerry, welcome.
Okay.
Tell us a little bit about this event you got coming up.
Okay, thanks, Tom. What we have coming up is a sports banquet where we have, dinners and meals and live auctions, silent auctions, and we have a great gun board where people can throw tickets in a raffle and can win guns, or even have an antique slot machine donated by Leo Spanner. And actually, we have a couple of those antique slot machines in our banquet. So what we're doing is raising funds for these junior shooters. We have over 100 kids signed up that we're teaching shooting skills and sportsmanship and gun safety, etc., around the high desert. We have matches, trap shooting matches, and we have them in 6 different cities, Apple Valley, Ridgecrest, Trona, Tehachapi, and around the desert. And we draw kids from all those communities. And we've got a good number of kids from Ridgecrest, boys and girls. And the competition is open for kids from 9 years of age until 19 years of age. At 19, they age out. It's just, they're adults then. So, but what we're doing is raising funds with this banquet to help with the cost of the shooting. Where we are now with what we've been able to accomplish this last year is we're buying all their shells, which is 100 shells per person, and there's generally around 50 persons per shoot, kids, adults, young adults, and we pay for all their targets so that it's not a burden on the grandparents or the parents. And the kids are all great. I mean, we've just never had a problem, and we encourage them to go to the hunter safety classes and so forth. And
How many kids are involved in this usually?
At each shoot, we'll have around 45 to 50 kids.
Okay.
And we have over 100 signed up, but different kids, different places, and
Right.
they have things going on, other things as well. But by and large, at each shoot, we give the kids a gold, silver, or a bronze medal for their winning position in the shoot in 3 different classes. There's a pro class, a junior class, and a novice class. So there'd be 9 trophies given out. They're just like they have at the Olympics, with a red, white, and blue strap that goes around their neck, and the medals that go with it. At the end of the year, the last shoot, which we just had in Barstow, we do that, the day prizes, and then we give out prizes for the year-end average and silver buckles and things of that nature.
Okay.
And go ahead.
How about focusing right in on the actual dinner, the time, location, and how they should pay for it and that type of thing?
Okay. We have these brochures, letters out at most of the sporting goods stores in town, and the swap sheet and places like that have ads in the swap sheet, and I think it's a Desert Adventure. I can't remember the other one. But anyway, we've got them at, Tom, of course, has them in his Guns for Us shop and been a great supporter. We have them at Fry's Gun Shop, have them at Bell's Gun Shop. You can always pick them up there. Or
We got 1 minute, so wrap
okay,
it up.
just one call to me at 760-382-4616, and we can do business by phone. And we encourage everybody to come out and help us out with these kids.
Okay, and what's the date of the event?
It is July 18th at 4 p.m. at the Kerr-McGee Center.
Okay, and your name and phone number again?
Jerry Williams, 760-382-4616.
All right, and that's next Saturday then, right?
That's
Not this Saturday, but next Saturday.
next one. That's correct.
Right. Okay, and what time do the doors open?
4 o'clock. From 4 to 5, look at things and see what you'd like to put tickets in for and what you might like to win. Dinner at 5, and then we generally try to get out of there by 10 or 10:30 in the evening.
Okay, all right, very good. Well, thank you, Jerry. Thanks for coming in, give us some more information and details about this. So that's it, folks. This was about the sporting banquet coming up next Saturday.
Okay.
Join us. Now in news from the Desert Empire Fairgrounds, we have learned that Mike Lemming, the manager of the Desert Empire Fairgrounds, will be leaving to take employment out of town. We contacted Mike to get the details. This is his statement. I am leaving the fairgrounds effective August 15th. I have accepted a position with Holiday RV Park in Pismo Beach as the park manager. I have lived in Ridgecrest for over 40 years, and my wife and I will truly miss all our friends and people we have gotten to know over the years. I officially take over that position on August 16th, but we'll be traveling back and forth every weekend. We have a prospective buyer for Retro Records. The sale should finalize between July and August. We will be renting our home in Ridgecrest, so we will continue to have ties in the Indian Wells Valley. The board of directors is in the process of interviewing prospective candidates. The manager's position is an independent contractor status, so the person must present a proposal for the board to consider. Thanks, Mike. That was his statement. We were wondering how the fairgrounds was going to replace him. Mike has done a great job out there, so he says that if anyone is interested in being the next independent contract manager for the DEF, they should provide the DEF with a proposal. I'd suggest interested people should do so very quickly. And knowing Mike personally for many years now, I certainly wish him and his family well in their move and new job. Now in KZGN's continuous effort to provide news and information you've asked for, here are today's local gas prices. Well, prices are generally steady since Monday's report. However, we do notice a slight uptick in a couple of our local stations. As of this morning, Ridgecrest is ranging from $3.25 to $3.89, Lancaster from $3.25 to $3.69, the LA Valley area $3.27 to $3.47, and the Bishop area $3.67 to $3.83. We have one station at the $3.25 figure. Last Monday, we had 5 stations coming in at the $3.25 figure. And all other areas we monitored had no downward change. So I hope this isn't an indicator prices are about to start rising. Tune in with us Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays for updates. We at KZGN always suggest you shop locally to support our local economy. Remember, when you pay any sales tax out of town, you're helping those cities pave their streets instead of here. Stay tuned for weather and sports when we come back. Thanks for staying with us. Let's go to Keith for the weather.
Thank you, Tom. The National Weather Service is forecasting a risk of severe thunderstorms across parts of the southern plains, from northeastern New Mexico into Texas and the Oklahoma panhandles, and extreme portions of southeastern Colorado and southwestern Kansas. Heavy rain, flash flooding from the southern plains to Ohio Valley, as well as parts of eastern Colorado and the Appalachians, are possible. For us in the IWV, the radar shows currently clear. We have some breezy conditions for a few days in our forecast with a slight cooling trend, but we will begin to heat up again during the weekend. For our forecast tonight, mostly clear with a low around 71, breezy with a southwest wind 10 to 20 miles per hour with gusts as high as 25. Thursday will be mostly sunny with a high near 90, breezy with a south-southwest wind 10 to 15 miles per hour with gusts as high as 30. Thursday night, partly cloudy with a low around 69, west-southwest wind 10 to 15 miles per hour with gusts as high as 20. Friday will be sunny with a high near 92, calm wind, south about 5 miles per hour. Friday night, mostly clear with a low around 70, south-southwest wind 5 to 10 miles per hour. Saturday, sunny with a high near 96, west-northwest wind 5 miles per hour. Saturday night, mostly clear with a low around 71, west-southwest wind 5 to 10 miles per hour. And on Sunday, sunny with a high near 99, northwest wind 5 miles per hour. And that is your forecast for the IWV. Now back to Tom and the rest of your KZGN News.
Thanks, Keith. Let's go to Tom Eck for sports.
And a very pleasant Wednesday afternoon to everyone. Let's start with a local note. Saracoso Baseball will be having a clinic next week for youngsters ages 7 and up through high school. If interested, you could call Justice Scott over at the college or just email jscott@saracoso.edu. The baseball camp will be Tuesday through Friday of next week, and it will start at 8 o'clock in the morning and go till noon, 8 to noon. And registration is only $65. So again, if interested, call Coach Scott over at Saracoso College. All right, let's take a look at the Major League scoreboard from last night. Kansas City with a walk-off grand slam from Paulo. Orlando defeats Tampa Bay. Boy, Tampa Bay just sinking. 9-5 the final there. Chicago, the Cubbies take a doubleheader from St. Louis. They win the first game 5-3, the nightcap 7-4. Boston over Miami by a score of 4-3. The Red Sox playing a lot better. They've now won 5 of 6 games. The Diamondbacks beat the Rangers. The Rangers have lost 4 straight. The Angels are on fire. The Angels are on fire. When you hit 45, and I say 45 hits in your last 3.5 games, 3 games plus, put it to a few extra inning game, and you come up with over 50 runs in your last 4 games, you are on fire. Angels 10, Colorado 2 in Denver. Angels now have won 7 of 8. They have won 4 games in a row. The A's beat the Yankees in New York 4-3. Cleveland downs the Astros. These might be the last days of the Astros leading the West. Houston now has a measly 2.5 lead over the Angels in the West. They lost George Springer, their leadoff hitter, hitting over 300, and the rookies gave it a good go this year. A.J. Hinch, the manager of Houston's done a yeoman's job, but the Angels' payroll, I think, is going to win out here very, very soon. In fact, by the All-Star break, the Angels might be in first place. All right, the Royals win again. They beat Tampa Bay. Pittsburgh beat San Diego. Atlanta over Milwaukee. The Phillies beat the Dodgers 7-2 in L.A. And the Giants finally get a win. They shut out the Mets up in the Bay Area. That snaps a 7-game losing streak. So the Giants now 4 games behind the Dodgers. Dodgers right now 9 games over 500. All right, talk about pitchers that have a hard time getting base hits. John Lester, who's a great pitcher, spent most of his baseball life in the American League. He has batted 67 times since he has been a member of the Cubs, and he finally got his first base hit 2 days ago. All right, Lester, by the way, pitched for 3 American League teams. He's been a Cy Young winner, and with the American League having a designated hitter, pitchers don't get to hit in the American League. All right, the LA Galaxy, if you're not familiar with them, they're a soccer team, professional soccer. Some live and die with it, though. They signed Steven Gerrard, who played for Liverpool. Gerrard's supposed to be one of the best players on the planet. Big press conference yesterday. NBA real quick, David Lee, Golden State, has now signed with Boston, leaving the Bay Area. Didn't get to play a lot second half of the season as they went with a younger lineup, and they won the NBA, so a pretty good move there. And they'll get an exchange. They'll get Jared Wallace. He's a veteran. Wallace last played with Boston. The Pacers signed Monte Ellis to 4 years at $44 million. Ellis last played in Dallas. That's your sports for this Wednesday afternoon. I'm Tom Heck for KZGN.
So that's the news for today. All of us at KZGN-TV know you have a choice in what you watch for your news. We all thank you for choosing KZGN-TV, Ridgecrest's only locally owned community TV station. Now stay with us for Ridgecrest Talk, coming up next.